78. So let me see if I'm on. Get everything working properly. I need like a pillow, huh? There we go. Okay. I know I'm sitting low, but I want Richard's face to be seen. I want Richard's face to be seen. So okay, I'm on Facebook. Make sure everything is working. Am I live? It says I'm live. There I am. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, lots of breaking news in the last few days, and I said that I would absolutely be revealing all of the news, and I guess I'm going to drip, drip, drip it out because it's coming drip, drip, drip. But we have some really important breaking news, and I'll just say it right at the beginning. We're asking everybody to share the open letter to El Paso District Attorney Bill Hicks. Now we have been uh, doing our homework on this one. Okay, we've been doing our homework, and um, it's really necessary that we do an open record when it comes to Bill Hicks because he, taxpayers, we're like we are in like a matrix. If anyone has watched that movie, it's like we're in the Twilight Zone or in the Matrix, and um, everything that we have been told, everything that we have been led to believe, really is up for scrutiny. And we've been told that the district attorney in our counties that they will help us, that they will protect whistleblowers, that they will identify crime and criminals and document it and prosecute it. And they will keep our communities safe. They are servants of the people. That's what we've been told. Um, and I would say this about so many of the agencies like this FBI in El Paso, and on and on. But I want to focus right now on the district attorney's office because we have been doing our homework with that. We're at over 3 years, and we've been wondering why district attorneys have not reached out to us. And, of course, the first district attorney in Richard's case is Jaime Esparza, you know, and he is the attorney general now. He was appointed to a federal position, attorney general, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I didn't know um, a lot of this system. Here I am, born and raised American, but I didn't know a lot of this system, and I don't feel guilty about that. I feel betrayed because the reason why we have this system is so that we can get on with the talents and the work that we have. I don't know if the district attorney knows how to roof a house, to give us good roads, uh, get out there and farm livestock, or even a good crop. I don't think that the district attorney knows all about the different systems that make the country run. I don't think that he could, um, I don't know. I don't know what all his upbringing is. I don't know what his talents are. But I bet you many of them, don't do too much carpentry work or um, heavy labor because they are attorneys, right? They're lawyers. And what they're supposed to do is look at the law and identify crime and the criminals and document it and prosecute it. That's their job. And I don't need to know every little thing about their job. We're supposed to trust each other that the farmer does his job really well or she does her job really well, and the business owners do their job very well, and that the DA does his job very well. The difference is that the farmer or the businesses, the small businesses, they have to make their own money, right? Um, I know all this stuff with subsidies and everything, but the DA is absolutely paid by the taxpayers and is a public servant. So, um, absolutely, they have to be accountable to us, and they're supposed to be serving us so that we can do the things that we want to do, uh, eh, to earn a living and not worry about having bullies come in and extort us and steal from us and prevent us from doing the things that we really love to do. And that is includes volunteering for the military and serving in the military in their districts, in their, they have uh, the huge Fort Bliss. And Fort Bliss is a gravy train for El Paso, for so many people in El Paso. And that's why you have to have a lot of oversight there because it's ripe for corruption. It's ripe for compromise. And absolutely in Richard's case, um, it has been compromised and there is so much corruption. And that corruption has reached even into our law enforcement agencies, being the district attorney. Absolutely. That has been very, very clear that even if you have someone that really wants to try, the retaliation, the pushback from the corrupted attorneys is so bad. And in order for them to do that, they have to have control of the media. And in El Paso, the media that seems to be very, very connected to these corrupted agents are supposed to be servants, is El Paso Matters. Okay, very really apparent, very apparently, they have to have the media because the media is the hypnosis. The media is the propaganda, watch that hypnotizes and gives a false reality that puts the vast public, including us, in a matrix where we believe that the world is one way when it really isn't. Behind the scenes, they are weapons trafficking, human trafficking, narcotics trafficking, pocketing the money, and all up to no good. But you see, with Richard, he was coming from Ireland. He was coming from Ireland, um, and not just anywhere in Ireland. He wasn't coming from Dublin. Okay, Dublin is where most people live in Ireland. He wasn't coming from Dublin. He was coming. He was coming from the Midlands. Okay, um, and the Midlands is farm area. Our neighbors were the cows and the sheep. He had that kind of, the largest city is, I don't know, in Longford town, 7,000, a little over 7,000. I mean, um, this is where Richard was coming from, and we didn't really we had TV over there, but we didn't subscribe to like HBO and all of that. It's just not. He was coming from a different. Let's just say he hadn't been under the hypnosis and the propaganda of El Paso Matters for, uh, you know, eh, when he got to El Paso, he um, he could see things, and he did see things. And I want to tell you today that the last few days have been, just a huge weight on us. Huge. I, it's very hard for me to express, and I probably should move this camera down just a little bit or sit up a little. Um, but it is it is very noteworthy because I want to really say this clearly that we knew all along we knew all along that Richard was a whistleblower, and we not because of just feelings. We're not about just feelings. We want the proof. We absolutely want to see the documents. We absolutely are grateful for when we get the documents. And for the most part, in this case, um, they have prevented us from receiving those open records. And that goes to um, uh, Bill Hicks. Let me see if I should open this up. See if I can open this up here and have it. Because I think it's really important that people see this. Yeah, there's our open. Um, so, we still have outstanding, and you wouldn't believe the games that they want to play, this office. This office likes to play games. And, we still have outstanding open records. And those open records are evidence. Are evidence. And, you know, um, that evidence helps us discover what happened to the Vanessa Guillen first absent soldier. It would help us discover who was behind his disappearance and we believe his murder. And yet, we have been prevented from getting evidence. That's obstruction of justice. I think it's criminal absolutely criminal what has happened in this case and to go on for this long. And so you can ask, why in the world would they go to such levels, right? Of bullying, of harassment, of committing crimes by keeping us from the evidence. Why would they go to those kinds of levels to prevent that? And and I will even tell you this open letter to Bill Hicks, the DA. Okay, so it was Jaime Esparza, and then Yvonne Rosales came in. And she came in right during COVID, right? Um, and she wanted to try to get the Walmart case. And we have confirmation that she was moving forward with Richard's case, looking into Richard's case. But the politics, she was an upset candidate, just like President Trump was an upset candidate. They, you know, she was not one of this established attorneys that were, I guess, approved and stamped, ready for use. She was voted in legitimately by 200,000 voters, more than that. And she was an upset. They didn't expect that. And, so she was looking into certain cases, and there was just one sabotage after the other. And if you look into it, you will see, and I'm not saying she was perfect. I mean, she's not a perfect person. Um, but you can look into that time period, and she was surrounded by people that did not want her to do well. And so she fired John Briggs. John Briggs was uh, not doing well, and she fired him, rightfully so. And so right after that, 2 days later, they put in a petition to unseat her. Unseat. This is election tampering. Okay. So I don't know if I can make this bigger. No, I can't make it bigger. Um, so let me see if I can read some of it because I really need to read it. I have it here in writing. Okay, in my notes. And so the other thing that's very clear, and I'll read it and then I can explain it as I go. But this is an open letter to El Paso, includes Fort Bliss. It includes Fort Bliss District Attorney Bill Hicks, urgent request for communication and assistance in the Richard Halliday case. To District Attorney Bill Hicks, we, Team Find Richard Halliday, advocating for Fort Bliss confirmed whistleblower Richard Halliday, also known as the Vanessa Guillen First Absent Soldier, write to you today to express our deep concern and frustration at our repeated attempts to communicate with your office. As the family of the victim, the next of kin, victims ourselves, and whistleblowers, we have turned to your office as the primary entity responsible for assisting us. Despite our ongoing, the DA's office is where you're supposed to go when you're like, we have a crime, we have a crime, we have a crime. That's where you're supposed to go. And they'll document it and they will then prosecute it. So, despite our ongoing efforts, and it's been ongoing for over 3 years, we have received neither a response nor any assistance in this matter. Not from our letters, we didn't even get, we have received, we acknowledge a receipt. That is unconscionable, right? And no assistance, even being in a whistleblowing status and being victims ourselves, and the many things that have gone behind the scenes in the harassment and retaliation against our family. We didn't get one bit of response or help from Bill Hicks. I think that's very important for everyone to know. So we understand the heavy workload that you carry, but the seriousness of Richard Halliday's case demands your immediate attention and action. And we have let him know this, okay? He knows. He knows the seriousness of Richard's case because he knows that it is connected to the August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday, 2019 Walmart mass shooting. He knows that. So, despite our ongoing efforts, we have received neither response, okay? Um, this case demands your immediate attention and action, and it is crucial that we work collaboratively to shed light on the crimes, identify the individuals responsible, and seek justice for the victims. Absolutely. And over 3 years, we have needed the El Paso DA to actively advocate, investigate, collaborate, communicate, and prosecute with unwavering determination to secure justice for our community. But the investigation, we have waited. We've needed this, and they've done nothing. And we give them so much taxpayers' money, y'all. I mean, they just suck up millions and millions of dollars. You can ask for an open records of how much money that they are allocated all the time. It is millions. And this is not including all this other stuff that they do that I feel like is a conflict of interest. So the investigation regarding our son has been interfered with and appears to be stalled since you took your oath of office. We are very concerned with the lack of communication and several open records requests that have remained unanswered, which is illegal. So we have been observing your administration and have several concerns. So what are they? Firstly, there seems to be an irregular relationship with Bob Moore. I'm telling you, there's something really fishy with the DA's office and Bob Moore. Absolutely. And of course, he runs El Paso Matters, and we filed a complaint with the IRS. Absolutely, we did, because they've engaged in conduct that is absolutely a violation. So, and understand that he is under investigation for engaging in unauthorized political activity using unreliable sources, including convicted criminals, violating his 501c3 status. Bob Moore, like your administration, has also refused to communicate with us, despite us reaching out to him no less than 10 times. So we have been writing letter after letter after letter and submitting it to both Bill Hicks and Bob Moore. Bob Moore a little more because he is absolutely obstructing justice in our case so much. And and Bill Hicks, he knows what to do. He's a DA after all. So I don't know how he's going to get reelected because he's such a failure at this point, right? And maybe I shouldn't say that. But um, yeah, it is disturbing that on Facebook, Bob Moore engages in a conversation to politically attack and remove former District Attorney Yvonne Rosales. You can go to Facebook and read this. When directed by Attorney Justin Underwood to Section 87.015 to file a petition for removal under the Texas Government Code. Bob Moore posted the exact provision. Local Government Code, Chapter 87, Removal of County Officers from Office. Upon further direction of if you have the right lawyer, 2 days later, the petition was filed to remove Yvonne Rosales. That's election tampering. That is political engagement. Bob Moore went on to interview both individuals who interfered with our missing son's investigation. Curiously, one of those individuals' attorneys is Justin Underwood. Okay, very important. Secondly, Reyes Mata's El Paso Inc. article dated December 17, 2023. The article raises serious issues of alterations, tampering of government documents involving your oath of office and the statement of officer known as the anti-bribery statement. So you can go to that article. It's very easy to find, and I've even posted it. And I've posted the information of what happened between January 25th, 26th, backdating to January 11th when Loretta Lynn Hewitt came on. The whole timeline, this whole thing is convoluted in so many areas. And Bob, Bill Hicks's oath of office is pretty convoluted also. And so when you think about when he came in and when he was appointed, when he took his oath of office at the end of December, and then he started working, but he did not sign his anti-bribery statement, which he's supposed to sign along with the oath of office and submit it before he does anything in his office. Okay? Before he does anything, he's supposed to submit both of those forms. And he failed to do that. I think he's an illegitimate district attorney. I really do. And that's not my fault. That's his fault. And to tamper, to backdate, to mess with a timestamp, that's also criminal. That's trying to rewrite history, right? So Reyes Mata, and that's not me saying it, this is Reyes Mata's amazing article that alerted us to this. Lastly, Loretta Lynn Hewitt, former assistant district attorney and lead prosecutor of the August 3rd, 2019 Walmart mass shooting case, stated that there was an intentional attempt to play politics by District Attorney Bill Hicks. Absolutely. Because he is seeking re-election. With the Walmart mass shooting case and to prevent it from going to trial. Absolutely. And now he says he wants it to go right away, where Joe Spencer is like, oh no, it's 3 years down the road. It's 3 years down the road. But, they're just playing with us. That's all. To me, that is like a staged task force find Richard Halliday. This one of them, oh yeah, I want to go right now. That's saving face. And Joe Spencer, like, oh no, 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 we don't have all the evidence in, and it's going to take 3 years, and it's going to take a year just to choose a jury. I mean, and the thing is Patrick Crusius, who there is the one that they're going to prosecute, has already been given 90 life sentences in the highest secured prison in the United States in Florence, Colorado. 90 life sentences consecutively is around 8,000 years. So we know he has autism. We know he has autism. And the federal judge that called out his sentencing, said that he needed to get counseling and treatment for his severe mental health condition. Yeah. So absolutely, it's just a gravy train to get millions and millions, and also to make this sensational so that they can put it in the paper. Because the papers, beginning of January 2019, doing some homework on Chris Grant, reading all through his stories. He's like all over the place except for El Paso Matters. Why is that? Why didn't El Paso Matters cover Chris Grant, the hero soda bottle thrower at the mass shooter? Why didn't they cover that? It's very interesting, It's a good question. Um, yeah, it really is because he was covered everywhere. I shouldn't say everywhere, but he was covered in many, many places. The above issues raise great concerns in our family and for the integrity of the investigation into our son. The confirmed Fort Bliss whistleblower, Richard Halliday. So please consider the way you are leaving your administration, and we would ask you. I think I should have said leading your administration. Oops, that's a gaffe. That's a gaffe. He needs to leave. Oops, sorry. We would ask you to communicate with us. Yeah. And, it's his duty, whether he likes us or not, whether he likes Richard or not, whether he likes our politics or not. Um, it's his duty as a district attorney to serve all people. And he should absolutely look into Richard's case. Okay. Sorry, had a yawn. Um, yeah. So this is um, leads to some news. We now have hard evidence that absolutely Richard is a whistleblower. Absolutely. 100% documented, confirmed whistleblower. Okay? And was being retaliated for being a whistleblower. That hard evidence came in days ago and really just breaks this whole case apart. Okay? Because he is a whistleblower. And the what does that mean? That means that the FBI, Nieto, and CID, Soto at the time, kept that from us, kept this very important evidence of confirmation, documented confirmation that Richard is a whistleblower from us. Okay? That's a weaponization of our law enforcement community. That's what that is. And that you would call that criminal negligence. You would call that intentional malice. It's really hateful. And so we'll let you know more about that, but that has this is something that Bill Hicks could have helped us with also, right? Absolutely. Because every law enforcement, I'm going to tell you right now, every law enforcement around Richard absolutely knew that he was a whistleblower. And we have um, circumstantial evidence or corroborating evidence of soldiers saying that the IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday. So we knew because we were told. And now we have the hard documented evidence. And so the failure of the DA office is much bigger than just not communicating with us. It is really, their duty to protect whistleblowers. And of course, our family being victims. The harassment, and I never like to label myself as a victim ever. But I will tell you in this case, the harassment, the bullying, and the retaliation that they've lodged against us to try to scare us off so that they can keep on doing this to the American people, so that they can keep on extorting and doing their criminal cabal gravy train from the American people, where they can keep on hurting our service members, which they absolutely are and are doing, absolutely hurting them. Yeah, because we didn't want to just say, okay, you could do that to our son and we don't care. That's not an option for us. We do care. That's not an option. You can't just get away with not protecting a whistleblower exposing him to being targeted for retaliation and the escalation of that to a brutal murder where he's dismembered. That, that doesn't, sorry, that doesn't jive. There has to be accountability, and we need to know who these perpetrators are, and they need to be punished. So they tried to make an example out of Richard, I believe, so that they can do their criminal gang activity. And it is very, very concerning to us that in a picture that was released, I believe yesterday or day before, let's see if I have it up here. I think it's on. Yeah, I don't. Let me see. I think it's on Facebook. And it's of the Department of State, Counselor Cohen. Let me see if I can get it up. Pull this up. Yeah, there it is. So here, so right, this man right here, we believe is Counselor Cohen. We believe this is FBI. This is all FBI. These are federal, okay? These men over here, right? Not sure about him, but these men right here are state, Chihuahua state officials. Why is the state officials meeting with the federal officials? These should be federal, okay? This is very, very concerning here for us because we're asking for help with the state officials for Kilometer 29 for our tampered statements that we made over there that were absolutely tampered with to mislead the law enforcement agencies and to rewrite history and to smear Richard. They absolutely smeared Richard in there to make him look bad. They did not say he's a whistleblower, a soldier, right? That's not what they said. So this is very concerning with us, and there's a lot of things going on here. And we've been in contact, repeated contact with Counsel Cohen, and who is, works for the State Department. And then these are FBI's, and I don't see FBI Nieto in this. Okay? I don't. Now, he would absolutely have to be here. So, unless he's sitting back here, maybe he's sitting in this back area here. I don't know. But he is not here in this table, and he is a supervisory FBI agent for El Paso. And they're, giving up equipment to Chihuahua. They want to give equipment up to Chihuahua. Like our country, there's nobody in our country that needs some self-protective gear. This is American equipment. It's not enough that our weapons are being smuggled, that our even our hand grenades are being smuggled, that our ammunition is being smuggled, that that human trafficking is going on. I don't know what's happening here, but the news report, and maybe it's just fake, maybe it's just misleading. And I just want to know if Richard's case came up here because we've been asking for that. And it's huge. It's a binational crime scene and it is an international case. And it absolutely has to do with the state of Chihuahua. But our worry here is that there's not any federal representation here. And we had to do some hard work on this to figure this all out. So, yeah, I think that is very, very concerning. And it doesn't look like Nieto is there, and we're hoping, that our institutional help is kicking in, um, and they've already seen the corruption that he has participated in as the FBI supervisory agent that failed so many ways in our son's case and has conflict of interest after conflict of interest with Nadal Bayim, with Bradford Bugado, with Lalani Hart, with Angela Kachurga, um, with Ruscone, with Chief Medical Examiner Ruscone, and with his wife and his wife. So yeah, and there's more to it. So we really want to focus on the open letter to Bill Hicks today and ask Team Find Richard Halliday to please share that open letter widely everywhere. And we put it out there. I have two posts out there. I put it out there. You can just cut and paste the text, or you can have the image, however you want to do it, or you can share it together. But that is really important because, yes, we need his assistance. He is in that position. We can't wait until we get a DA that we like. Okay? We can't wait. How long is that going to take? That, you get a DA in there that's looking into your son's case, but there's such an upset that they're getting retaliated like crazy and COVID is going on, and then then you have corrupted DAs or whatever. We have to work with those that are in our offices with the privileges that we have given them, the tools that we have given them, and make them abide by their oath of office and their anti-bribery statements, and you know uh, and understand that their pay comes from us. And you can say, oh, well, they're printing money or whatever, but they put it on the backs of the taxpayers. So whatever the Federal Reserve Bank is doing, digitizing, printing away like crazy or whatever that they're doing, they're putting us in debt, and we have $34 trillion on the books right now to prove it. And, we need to get our money's worth. I mean, we haven't got our money's worth, but we need to realize that they work for us, and we can't wait to vote someone in that is going to do the right thing. And oh, we think he's good, but then he betrays us or she betrays us or whatever. No, it right now it's Bill Hicks. Do we believe he's illegitimate? Yes, we believe he's illegitimate. Do we believe that he's a criminal? Yes, I believe he's a criminal. But he is in that seat. He's in that seat. He has that power. And we as the people, just like this whole mass shooting case, victims are waiting and waiting and waiting to get justice, and they got justice through uh the federal case, I guess, but I don't think it is, because something stinks so bad around that case, and all they're doing is milking us for more and more money. And we have Chris Grant saying and maintaining. He hired Chris Grant, and you have to read these articles. You have to do a Google and read these articles, because they're like, okay, so this hero was not Ernest, right? Because his first name is Ernest. So he wasn't earnest. He wasn't truthful. He really didn't do that, and that the Trump administration didn't contact us to see if this guy was earnest. Okay, so this is a mass shooting. You got 50 people. You got hundreds and hundreds of bullets. You got Walmart, crazy stuff. And this guy is saying, okay, I threw soda bottles at Patrick Crucius. And Patrick Crucius, or the shooter, right? So is he going to identify Patrick Crucius as a shooter who cornered people, shot people in the head while they were on the floor, and then he comes and gives himself over like, hey, hey, it was me. I just did that. Yeah. And he doesn't have one spot of blood on him. He's not frazzled at all, right? I mean, he's not even looking like, where's the soda? Where's the blood? His shoes are clean. I mean, there's so many things wrong. And so, then the police come out and say, oh, yeah, he's not really a hero, but he is, you know, used over and over and over and over again, except for in El Paso Matters for a story. But he hires somebody that is a media consultant or something like that. He hires somebody to help him with his media connections, right? To speak to the media and represent him and stuff. And, puts out a statement that he maintains that is exactly what happened, that the cameras with all those people there couldn't catch everything that he was doing. So he maintains to this day that he threw soda bottles at the shooter. But maybe Patrick Crucius wasn't the shooter. Maybe the other witnesses were right. There were other shooters, right? Because the shooter that Chris threw bottles at should have some soda on him, should have some blood on him, And then you have all these other witnesses that say there's other shooters, right? And where is the DA in all of this? Where's the DA? In just a few hours on August 3rd, the shooting essentially happened around 11, and then at 1:30, so 2.5 hours later, 1:40, whatever, the police are like, oh, this is a lone shooting. This is a lone gun shooting. Really? I mean, everything doesn't make sense. We are not being served by this DA. We are not being served by the law enforcement community there in El Paso. And this is very, very concerning, not just in Richard's case, but in so many of the victims in all these other cases. So I think it's really important to please thank you for sharing the DA open letter. I want to, from Team Fire Richard Halliday, the open letter to the district attorney, and you can share it with your representatives. You can share it with the law enforcement community. You can share it with everybody. And, we've already have been targeted. We are already at risk. We've already been threatened. And so, this is, they've put us in such a terrible situation. And so that's why we need to reach out with this open record. Because we can't wait until all of our representatives, till Veronica Escobar is replaced or some good person comes in that, who is good, right? The Vanity Fair gets to be too much fun for so many of our officials. They end up giving in to the Vanity Fair. So send this to Veronica Escobar, send it to everybody, and we need them to abide by their oath of office and do the right thing for the people of El Paso, for the surrounding area, and even into Juarez, because whatever happens in El Paso, it hiccups and it goes over the border, right? And so that's very, very important. Okay, everyone. Okay, let me read some. Oh, thank you, Grace, for the prayers and the love. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on. Good evening. Thank you so much. Good evening, Mama Halliday, and everyone else tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. Um, I've been reading some articles off Google. They're all over the place. Oh, yes. Are you talking about Chris Grant? They are all over. He was like the star, and something doesn't sit right. It just doesn't sit right. And um, tell us what you think. Tell us what you think. I just something's not right. When you go through a mass shooting like that, I don't know. A, he, he he hired a publicity agent. Yeah. Yes, the Walmart shooting and all of those. The Chris Grant. Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you so much, everybody. And, you know, don't ever forget 3905 Bliss Avenue because that is what connects. See, the two, Bill Hicks absolutely knows what's going on because there is this conflict of interest, we believe, with Bob Moore of El Paso Matters. And if Bob Moore is going to pick two unreliable sources, convicted criminals, right? And one uses Justin Underwood for her attorney, and they're connected to Bliss Avenue? Yeah. We live in a matrix, y'all. What this something, we and it's very hard to even imagine that they have the organization to pull the wool over our eyes all the time like they do. But they do. And Richard caught them. And Richard reported on them. And they made an example out of Richard. So, justice for Richard. And please share the open letter to Bill Hicks. Thank you so much. God bless you.